Hello, Abraham. The last time I heard you speak in Houston, you mentioned, and it almost seemed in passing, that we don't have to become deathly ill to croak. And I would like for you to elaborate on that, if possible.
Well, it's interesting on the heels of this conversation, because this will be the easiest way for you to hear this. So, do you hear what we're saying about the vibrational state of pure positive energy that exists in what humans call non-physical? In other words, that heavenly non-physical place where non-physical, or that which man calls God, dwells, that pure positive energy place. Can you hear it or feel it when we say that it's a place of non-resistance? It's a place of liquid love. It's a place of well-being. It's a place of furthest expansion and alignment with it. It's this high-flying, good feeling vibration. And the reason that it's high-flying and high vibration and good feeling is because there's no resistance in it. No resistance that could be discernible from your physical standpoint. There's contrast everywhere, but the vibration of source is a very high frequency. So as you start there with your understanding, and then you see people or anyone in their physical bodies exploring contrast. And let's start with the subject that negative emotion just doesn't feel good. That too long or too much deviance from who you really are doesn't feel good. And at first it just feels like negative emotion. Well, we've been saying, if you've got negative emotion and you don't know what it means and you don't do something about coming into alignment, don't worry, it will get bigger. Because as you keep focusing where you're focusing, then you'll practice that vibration more. You'll keep launching rockets of desire, so you'll keep expanding. And so the vibrational variance between where you are and who you really are becomes greater and greater. So then we say, when you have your croaking experience, we try to be disrespectful of death since there isn't any, which means you withdraw your attention from this time-space reality. Now there's no vibrational resistance within you, and so the vortex just takes you completely in. In other words, that's what that is. When there's no more resistance, in you go. So the thing that's interesting about someone getting really sick before they die is that their giving up of their attention is sort of like a last-ditch effort. It's like they're releasing it because they're finally, in other words, when we say you don't have, as we've been talking about resistance in relationship to non-physical for some time, this has been a question that's been formulated, and you're pinpointed here in a very powerful way, because that makes it sound like the more resistant you get, then the further from source you are, and the further from source you are, then finally you croak and source takes you in. And that actually, that just prolongs it. In other words, people who are in perfect alignment with source would be much more likely to go into the vortex. But here's the distinction that did that scare you? Here's the distinction that we want to make with you. You can go into the vortex while you remain in this physical body, or you can go into the vortex while you do not remain in this physical body. And the key to going into the vortex is absence of resistance. It's just that so many people get themselves into such a place of despair and discord before they finally do let go. And when they let go, of course, in they go. Now, let's start at another place, because you're not satisfied with that answer, and neither are we. We want you to really feel what we're talking about here. So let's start again. So here's this pure positive energy. And here is someone physically focused who holds no resistance. Well, if they hold no resistance, look at the majority of the animals. Look at all the babies and children, the little ones who hold very little resistance. Right. If the absence of resistance means you'd immediately have your death experience, then you'd have it the moment you were born. Out in, out in, out in. You see. So the absence of resistance and the subsequent alignment with source energy is the greatest expression of life that there is. And you've come forth into this physical body to express this life, you see. So as long as you're exploring variety and managing your out of the vortex and in the vortex and out of the vortex and in the vortex, it's the balance of that, the perfect balance of coming into this body just like you planned and exploring the contrast just like you planned and having the contrast inspire you to desires just like you planned and not getting too resistant, too far apart from your desires. That's the perfect and robust way to live physical life experience, you see. A woman said to us one day, Abraham, it's not fair. I have this bad diagnosis and this bad diagnosis and this one, and I'm a pretty positive person, and my friend over here is negative as she can be, and she's healthy as a horse. What's going on? And we said that the factors that are included is that are at the basis of this is how much is your vortex calling you in relationship to whether you're going or not. So if your vortex is really, 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 really calling you and you're really, 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 really not going, then you're getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker until the vortex will take you, you see. But let's say you're staying in balance. Let's say you're emotionally, something upsets you, but you bring yourself into balance, and something else happens and you bring yourself into balance, so that you're chronically living, so that the emotional scale that you're living on is between hope and appreciation. That's where you hang out all the time. If you're hanging out around a little frustration and hope and appreciation, you're in a pretty healthy vibrational place, which means now you're living enough contrast that you're being inspired to new life, new desire. So you're summoning. You could live in this physical body for a long, 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 long time under those conditions, you see. Healthy and happy and healthy and happy and healthy and happy. So now let's go back to the question that you asked, because it was poignant the way you worded it.
Do we have to get deathly ill to croak?
Of course not. And so now what's the next logical question that comes from that? How can I come to the end of what I feel this physical life is and make this comfortable transition? And so you're standing in this physical body and you say, nothing is ringing my bells anymore. I've done everything I think I want to do. I'm not really inspired by anything. I'm not looking for more money, and I'm not looking for another relationship, and I don't want to write another book. There's not anything that I really want to do. I think I'd like to discover who I really am. I think I'd like to reclaim the vortex of who I really am. I think I'm ready to be the vibrational being that I really am. And as you set that intention into the vortex, you go. There are a lot of people, in fact, more people than not, who just go to sleep and off they go because they're not struggling against anything, you see. So where are you with this? Are you feeling some clarity about it? What we really want to say to you is you have the capacity to live in this physical body, feeling good and being really, really well, as long as there are things that keep stirring you to new expansion and you're keeping up with it pretty good. The things that go wrong is if it's stirring up expansion and you're not going, or there's not enough variety that's causing any calling, you see. So as long as your life is calling and you're tending to the gap, so to speak, you can live a very wonderful, robust life, which is exactly what you intended to do. That was good. Don't you think that was good?
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.